Okay. So is anyone else as confused by the borders as I am? So for those of you who don't know, Monday at midnight, Canada finally was allowed to drive into the United States. So was Mexico. So we can actually drive in the United States as long as you've been vaccinated. We do not need a test to drive into the United States. We don't need to quarantine when we get there. However, those people who want to come to Canada have to show proof of vaccination and also have to take a PCR test within 3 days of arriving. The PCR test, of course, is the more expensive of the tests, the antigen test. It's also the one unless you get an RT-PCR test, it's also the one you have to wait longest for. So if you're traveling to the border, you may not know what your test results are until you get to the border. But let's go at it from another angle. Let's go at it as a Canadian traveling to the United States and then coming back. That is what I was hoping to do for my next cruises that I'm heading to. I was going to drive across the border, but then they say, well, you still need to do your PCR test and everything. So, okay. However, so I'm in Ottawa. I am literally less than an hour's drive to the US border, and then another hour and I'm at a huge shopping complex that I could go to if I wanted to do cross-border shopping. So what they did, in all their gloried logic, the governments of Canada said that we're protecting everybody from, who's traveling internationally. The reason we do that PCR test coming back is so that we know that they didn't catch COVID and everything in the United States and bring it back. That's the logic behind the PCR test. Okay, unless, of course, you just want to go spend some money there for a few days. So, let me explain the logic to you. They say that I can go on a Friday, get my PCR test, get a PCR test in Canada, drive to the United States, spend the Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. Is that right? Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, and then come back on Monday, and that PCR test that I took in Canada before arriving in the United States is still good. So the whole thing about making sure that we did not catch COVID in the United States and bring it back to Canada is completely negated. Because you don't take a test in the United States. You take it before you even leave the country of Canada. So tell me how that possibly is more effective than anything else we do. Tell me how that's effective. So we're allowing people to do that. So there is more cross-border shopping than international travel in Canada. More people just drive across the border at the border towns and everything. I mean, Toronto's just a few hours away from the border, the biggest city in Canada. Montreal, just a few hours. Vancouver, just a few hours away. Everybody can just cross the border really quickly. 80% of the population of Canada can get to a border in the United States within a few hours of driving because most of our major cities are right near the borders. So all these people can travel internationally. We can drive down, do our Christmas shopping. We can head down, see the Thanksgiving Day parade in New York. We can just drive back to visit friends and family. And then we took our test in Canada and it's good on the way back. But I can go on a cruise ship. I have to get tested to get on the cruise ship. I get tested on the cruise ship, but I have to do a test when I go back to Canada. Why? Why is there more risk for somebody going to Disney World or somebody going to visit family in Seattle or somebody heading to Texas? Why is that more of a risk than somebody traveling into Niagara Falls area on the United States, going to the casinos, going to the hotels, having dinner, partying with friends, and then driving back across the border. I don't need a test. I took one 3 days ago in Toronto, so I'm good. It makes no sense. It's not logical. And of course, as always, the government is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps behind what the rest of the world is doing.